This is Chicago's Morning Answer with Dan Proft and Amy Jacobson on AM 560. The Answer.
Mike Madigan runs the Democratic House floor for 30 plus years running. He's promising this and he's stealing that. Where can you get that kind of money? He's using your house like his own piggy bank. You ought to know by now. You can pay off your house here in Illinois, but you can never keep up with the taxes. Oh, how it's always been the plan to have a taxpayer pay, no doubt. Not a matter of if anymore, but when. You're moving out. I said, when you're moving out.
Dan and Amy, and another installment of our Moving Out segment. We focus on property taxation, but not limited to that. We've got a new regional report on property taxes. You can find it at westcooknews.com. Last week, we started off with our annual updates. South Suburban Cook got a lot of reaction to that. Terrible story, decimating an entire region, locking people down in homes that just deteriorate with each passing day in value. But that's the case everywhere in Illinois. So do you want to take the hit at the size it is now, or do you want to wait till it gets worse? westcooknews.com, looking at communities like Oak Park, Maywood, Stone Park, highest tax bills in the region, all well over the state average, which is well over the national average, highest property tax in the nation. Oak Park, for example, socialist enclave Oak Park. How they liking it? I had got this exchange with this liberal on Twitter over the weekend, making the point to me that, hey, it's not just conservatives moving out. And my response was, oh, yes, I know it's not just conservatives moving out. And I welcome the conversations with the leftists who've been mugged by the reality of their policy preferences and are now leaving like the rest. Oak Park, 3.12% is the effective median tax rate as a percentage of home value at present. So $336,000 median priced home has a $10,492 median property tax bill.
For a $336,000 home?
And here's how this ends up.
It's worse than Chicago.
Here's how this goes. Well, of course, the suburbs are worse than Chicago, but the reckoning is coming to Chicago. IRS lawyer turned insurance CEO Vicki Pryor paid $757,000 for a 4-bedroom, 4-bath home on Euclid Avenue, Northeast Oak Park, in August of 2005. That's $975,000 in today's dollars. So adjusted for inflation, $975,000 she paid in 2005. 14 years later, she sold the home.
For how much?
February 26th for $590,000. 40% less than what she paid for it.
Ouch.
Her property taxes during that period went from $9,200 to $20,600, 3.5% of her sales price.
Holy
so
cow.
She lost 40% on the straight sales price. Over her 13 years of ownership, she paid $207,000 in property taxes in addition.
$207,000.
How do you like it, Oak Park Socialists? 312-642-5600, turnkey.pro answer line. 64636DA, turnkey.pro text line. No one is spared. Other side of the ledger. Restaurateur Mac Alexander owns MacArthur's Restaurant in Chicago's Austin neighborhood. He sold his 4-bedroom, 2-bath Maywood Victorian February 3rd for $61,000. Do you know how much he paid for it, real dollars, 10 years ago in November of 2008?
No idea.
He sold it February 3rd for $61,000. November of 2008.
Wait, let me guess. He bought it for $120,000?
November 2008, he paid, constant dollars, $467,000 for it.
Oh, I wasn't even close.
$467 in November of 2008. He sold it February 3rd for $61. he paid $81,000 in property taxes in his 10 years of ownership. So he paid $81,000 in property taxes in 10 years on a home he sold for 61 grand in Maywood. Lower end of the spectrum, getting hammered the worst. So tell me again how your Democrat socialists in Chicago are the party of the working man, the party of the minority family, the party of opportunity, the protector of the little guy. Tell me again. I want to hear it. Don't tell me, actually. Tell Mac Alexander. Stone Park, median sale price, 139 grand. Tax rate 3.33. Maywood 3.15. 157,000 is the median price. Oak Park, I told you. Bellwood, another lower income suburb.
Yeah.
Willow Springs, North Lake, River Forest, Berwyn, Franklin Park, Melrose Park, Cicero, Riverside, Forest Park, LaGrange Park, River Grove, Berkeley, Elmwood Park, all have effective property tax rates as a percentage of home value over the state average, which is the highest in the nation. And is there a community I mentioned here run by Republicans? If there is, I don't know it. Is West Central Cook County? Is that a conservative haven? Is that where the revolution's going to come from? Oak Park, Stone Park, Bellwood, Maywood? And, I mean, I'll just give you just the latest week's worth of stories we're doing in the papers that I'm a part of, because you're not getting. I mean, you've gotten little studies by the Tribune. You've gotten some reporting in the anti-business business journal, Cranes. They don't get it. They don't get the whole picture. They don't understand what's happening. I don't know why people don't understand that there is a negative multiplier to ever-increasing property taxes, destroying home equity with each passing day. That compound interest works in both directions. I mean, spin the wheel. Pick a community, and I'll give you an example. Hinsdale. Well, I mean, we printed the name, so I'll say the name. Scott and Jennifer Rediger lose over 514 grand on the sale of their home. Robert Avellini and Claudia Huff lose 270 grand on the sale of their home in Roselle. Aaron and Mona Erder lose 421 on their sale in Glen Ellen. William and Grazina Chad lose 167 on their sale of their home in Western Springs. These are the last month home sales. Todd and Jennifer Kromhecke lose 304 grand, Western Springs. John Lindman and Marlene Lindeman lose 991 grand on the sale of their Bannockburg mansion.
Oh, my goodness.
Jonathan Rienstra, Christine Rienstra, 212 grand they lose on the Deer Park home. Edward and Linda Edens, 59 grand they lose on the Chicago townhome. Jana Johnson, loses 62 grand on her home in Joliet. Tom and Liz Brzezinski lose 473 grand their home in Northbrook. William and Deborah Dent lose 329 grand in their sale of their Palatine home. Mark and Susan Manning lose 196 grand on the sale of their Wheaton home. Just one-offs, right? Making it up. Going to revolt? You're going to bolt. You're going to bolt now? Or are you going to wait till they layer in the graduated state income tax and all of the other exciting new taxes and
From
fees
Jelly Belly. Yeah.
and regulatory burdens that the people that have lorded over this property tax system to their incredible financial benefit, Madigans, Burks, Cullertons, that you put in a supermajority position.
Re-elected Burke after he was indicted in January, re-elected in February.
I hate my home. Hate has a home in the homes that has the hate no home sign in front of them. You hate your home's value is what you hate. Dan and Wilmette, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
House in Wilmette, $2.6 million, just sold for $1.6 million with a $60,000 tax bill. They're bolting because it's just going to get worse. The $1.6 million will turn into less than $1 million in about 2 years.
Exactly right. Exactly right. Thanks for the call, Dan.
And everybody's moving to Florida.
Well, let me just stress that again. Oh, we got this deal, $1.6 million for a home that was bought for $2.6. You didn't get a deal. You're the next in line to get fleeced because the math isn't going to work for you any better than it worked for the previous owner. Is this so complicated? I mean, I don't understand how people are completely indifferent to their home value. The biggest investment most will make in their lives. I don't understand it. It informs their vote in no way. Jeff Carter, by the way, great piece. Our friend Jeff Carter, Hyde Park Angels founder. Pointsandfigures.com, millennials leaving Chicago. He talks about this Brookings Institute study that finds millennials are leaving Chicago at a similar rate to 55 plus. So it's not just people leaving Chicago for the weather to retire somewhere warm. Bull jive. Lies. And he makes the point that all of the cultural Marxist stuff, sanctuary states, sanctuary cities, abortion on demand at taxpayer expense, that's not enough to keep them. But there's no opposition party. And frankly, there's no real opposition. So people get rolled over. Because what consequences of it are the political ruling class? Some get rich, others get power. They're happy. John in Oak Park, you're on Chicago's Morning Answer.
Yeah, good morning. Closed in 2015 with taxes just under 12. New tax bill is just under 20.
Ooh.
Now, full disclosure, we did do a 400 square foot addition to the house, so I don't think that ratio is appropriate, but
Are you going to
that's
fight
what we're
it?
dealing with.
Are you going to?
Oh yeah, we got a small reduction, but I think we're just going to drink the Kool-Aid, Dan. I mean, what are we supposed to do? We're here. We want to raise our family here. You know, we like the community, but it's just insane. I guess I'm more concerned with the jelly belly tax bill that's going to be coming our way. That one's really, really concerning.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Thanks, John. Appreciate it. I mean, I don't know. I'd be pretty concerned about that property tax bill that you're.
It's a huge hike.
And that, you put an addition onto your home, and then, I mean, you're going to raise your kids here. Okay, so 10, 15 years from now, just understand, whatever you paid for your home, you're going to get, 25 to 40% of what you paid, depending on how long you're here, as that eats away at your home equity. Just understand that. So factor that in for your retirement. Factor that in. Take these home sale prices and factor that in if you plan to just dig in and take it. Because it will, if you're going to take it, they will take it. Greg in Jefferson Park.
Hey, good morning, guys. My comment is very similar to your last caller in that one of the things that, all the stuff that you've been talking about, the people buying their homes, selling their homes and all that, doesn't include roofs, additions, garages, all the money people put into getting bathrooms redone, kitchens redone. If people spend $50,000 to $75,000 on a new kitchen, and then when they sell their house, they end up a couple hundred in a hole. So that doesn't include any of those monies that go into that. So it's just it's throwing good money after bad, man. It's sad.
Thanks for the call, Greg. That's right. And again, the Democrat socialists have no problem pursuing amending the Constitution and imposing a graduated tax system. And everybody else has a problem proposing a 1% hard cap on property taxes, residential property taxes, a percentage of home value like Indiana has, like California has. Oh, no, that's that. You can't do that. That's a bridge too far. On the tax side, there's no bridge too far. On the home value side, on the tax relief side, everything is too onerous. Oh, we can't do that. This place is just something, isn't it? Joe in Hoffman Estates.
Good morning. I have quite a few friends of mine, conservative friends, that moved down to like the Tennessee area, Nashville, and Tampa area. And they said that the problem is a lot of people are moving from Illinois and they're bringing their voting habits with them. So they're really worried about that.
Yeah, thanks for the call. Some of that's going on. But it's interesting how the culture works. Like all this concern about Texas is going to be a majority-minority state, and so it's going to go blue. I'm not so sure about that. I think Greg Abbott's Latino vote total and big victory he piled up as governor of Texas speaks to that. The culture, the political culture, the social mores are important. And so you have Latino families growing up and second and third generation Latino families in Texas that like the small government.
Yeah. I know a lot of Hispanics that are now Republicans. I know a lot of Jewish people who are now Republicans. And Omar sealed the deal.
You move to a place and you see it working, particularly if you left a place that isn't working like Illinois, and you say,
like it.
well, yeah, maybe this is a better way to do it. People are not static, just as economies are not static, because, the latter drives, the former drives the latter. Sean in Elmwood Park.
Stop with the reality, you cruel son of a gun. What is wrong with you? Monday morning. Listen, you asked what communities are Republican. Mine has been Republican.
Yeah,
Don't you
right.
remember? We had that conservative rock with the welcome mat stuck to his head, Pete Silvestri, who went on to be a Cook County commissioner. Sure, he's got a phony baloney law firm that negotiates the CTA advertising. You see, that's the problem. We've always had the corrupt scum. The problem is the complacency of the so-called Republican. But you know what's funny, Prof? You know I'm down in Florida right now saving Illinoisans from the problems. But what you don't understand is what happens when you come down here and you try to liquidate the eyes on what sells property. That's why I hate other real estate brokers, and in particular Oak Park. They are so full of baloney. They sell you that nonsense with their Louis Vuitton scarf on and their Jaguar in the parking lot. They're liars, because what sells property is your ability to keep and retain and profit. That's it. The other stuff is just nonsense, wasteful wood chip money. But what sells it is who's going to look at it to get out of it. And pretty soon you're going to be like that restaurateur in Maywood. That is a shellacking. That's the kind of a loss that you can never come back from.
Yeah.
That's what happens to average people.
That's
it's
right.
terrible. And I got news for you. Landlords are freaking out because they know there's no investors either. These portfolios, these hedge funds, these people who buy these big strip malls, they're not looking at Illinois. They better pull their head out of their derriere and figure it out. And that's to the Republicans. Durkin, what are you doing today, fat boy? Do something.
Thanks for the call, Sean. And, by the way, don't worry, because, people are coming in. This is a talent magnet, Chicago. Is it? Wall Street Journal ranking the top 377 U.S. metro areas for in terms of, robustness of the job market. Number 1, the Austin Round Rock market in Texas. Chicago, not in the top 30.
If you're talking about it, Dan and Amy are talking about it. It's Chicago's Morning Answer on AM 560. The Answer.